Well, I love an estate sale, a yard sale, tag sale, barn sale, flea market, whatever you call it. Put your stuff on the front lawn for free. I'm into your junk. This is my first estate sale score of the year. $40 with the fees. It was an online one. And yeah, I got it because there was some vintage stuff down there. The reason I think I got it cheap was because it's all in parts and pieces, and I think there's a lot missing. But I thought I'd share it with you. Open it up, see what we got in here. And yeah. Let's set you up, see what it looks like. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the box. This is definitely modern. You can tell by the tubes here. They put those on old R2s. It's pretty tall, 16, 17 inches tall. I know it does something because it turned on when I was carrying the box down the stairs, so this button here turns his head. It was forward, side to side, and random. And I was expecting wheels on the bottom, nothing. So I don't know if this is remote control, but I'll look it up here. This device complies with Part 15 of the FCC rules. Says copyright Lucasfilm Limited 2015 Imperial China. And there's a back cover here. And tubes. Alright. Let's see what this is. So it turns out our R2 unit is a bubble machine. Yeah. And you screw a bubble thing up in here, and then it goes on. So that's kind of cool. Play with that one later, see how that works. Next elephant in the box is this giant X-Wing. Measures about 30 inches. About 25-inch wingspan. This definitely isn't vintage. Again, the fisheye that they had on these pictures, I really couldn't tell what was what. The R2 doesn't come out, the cockpit doesn't open. This is the only movable part in the whole thing. Hasbro, represented by Hasbro Europe, Stockley Park, Uxbridge, UK. Lucasfilm, made in China, and some numbers, so let me look that up. So this one came out in 2014. It's perfectly scaled for a 3 3/4 action figure. But Hasbro opted to offer a vehicle with a lower price point, and to achieve that goal they designed it without a functional cockpit or droid port. So if I bring in an X-Wing pilot, you'd see he'd be perfectly sitting in there. It's about how big an X-Wing would probably be in real life, or if you were 3 3/4 inches tall. So that's kind of cool. Alright, next up we have this Millennium Falcon. This is one of my favorite ships as a kid.
It's the ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
It's got all its landing gear, that's good. All 3 parts of that. We got the top cover, and we got the bottom cover. Looks like the motor could use some help. We got this cover, which is not taped on correctly. it was put together without it being in the right spot. So at least I got that. I'm missing the gun, the chair, the bottom deck. We'll see if they're in here. Looks like it was taken apart but put back together incorrectly. I can already see a bunch of things that are wrong with it. So that'll be a project. You remember a time when Jedi was your least favorite Star Wars movie? Boy, they got bad, huh? So this is Jabbas Throne, and got some working parts there. Can open up the bottom. I was never into the Jedi stuff. I think I was out of toys by then. It kind of aged out. And but yeah, that's kind of cool. I'll see what it takes to complete that. Maybe a Jabba figure. And it's also missing something here. Figure out what that is. Maybe it's another one of these heads. But see what that takes to put together too. So it looks like the rest of this box is 3 vehicle parts. So some TIE fighter wings. This is a body to an AT-AT. That's the bottom of the AT-AT. Top to the AT-AT. Bag of stuff. Head to the AT-ST. And some legs. 1, 2, 3, 4 legs. Yeah, I don't know if everything is here to put together an AT-AT, an ST, and a TIE fighter. So, yeah, let's go through here. Those are definitely TIE fighter parts. That's an AT-AT, part of his neck. A foot. A neck. A foot. That's the front of the TIE fighter. There's motors, there's... what's in here? Those look like the AT-ST parts. That might be part of the AT-ST. The body. Oh boy. Whole bag of screws and springs. Plastic parts. Found one of these bags I saw, yeah. See a motor in here. So I got my work cut out for me separating all this stuff. Oh, check it out, a mini TIE fighter. Guns. Going through here, the one thing I'm not seeing is the AT-AT head, right? Oh, that's one side of it, right? Okay. So yeah, I'm going to have to go through this. Fortunately, I have a fully intact AT-AT that I can refer to. So, yeah, let's start putting together the AT-AT. That might be fun. Now, I was going to start with the AT-AT, but I'm thinking maybe I should go on to this TIE fighter. It's a pretty cool TIE fighter too, because it's the Tie Interceptor, which I think came out later in the line, so they're a little more rare. I'm missing some parts though. This is one of the wing buttons that pops the wing, and that is gone. The second one, and this is actually a little busted. I do poke it around in my stash, and I have this carcass of an old white one, and it's got all the parts I need because I'm also missing the cockpit, the seat, and a little lifter too. So did plug this in to see if it worked. Let's see what we got here? Some batteries. That's working. That's good. So I think I'm going to start dismantling this one, take the parts that I need, and also have a better idea of how this goes together once I get that off. And yeah, so let's start taking this apart. I think the buttons, I'm definitely going to paint them to match this, and maybe the seat lifter too I'm going to have to paint. But let's get them out and see what that looks like. You know, another thing I have to figure out is what screws go where. So one good thing, I'm able to take this apart. I'll reuse these screws on this Tie Interceptor here. But yeah, so now I can see how, you know, which lengths of screws I need, because I just have, there's that bag of screws. Just got this bag of screws here, so I don't know. Most of this I think goes with the AT-AT. I can see, you know, some of the Tie Interceptor parts here. That should be all the screws. Yeah. Just kind of see how this goes together here. My bag of tricks. You got these two pieces. Should have two springs. Those are my two springs. And you see how this goes together. You have your clip goes into the spring. Your spring goes in, pushes that wing in, clips it in. And that's in good shape. That's in good shape. So I think I'm going to try to paint some of this first. Put that aside. I'm all set with that. But seat slider here, and these two. I'm going to try to paint those to match this gray. So that's next. I got a couple things done. I was able to paint the two new clips. Sort of a close match. I had primered them first. Some spray primer. Was hoping I'd get away with just that, but it wasn't exactly. It was kind of dark. So I had these two acrylic ones, a darker one and a lighter one. So I ended up going with this one on there. It was a pretty good match. Like if I bring in the original, it's a little off. But then if I bring in the body, you know, kind of matches the body. More matches the top of the canopy though. So I got those ready to go. I also clear coated them with some satin. I printed up a decal. I still haven't gotten any white vinyl sticker material, but I did have vinyl translucent, so I printed it up on the translucent and then put it on just some plain white sticker paper. I like to do these in a vinyl sticker on the Star Wars stuff, because then it can't be confused with being repro, because you can reuse the, you know, the paper stickers. So I don't like to put those on, and this is just going to be for my display anyway, so I think that'll look pretty good right there. It actually printed up to the right size and everything. I did some cleanup on it because the one that I got off the internet wasn't that great. So, but I want to clean this up. I want to get this old sticker residue off of here too. So, a little bit of glass cleaner to start with. Sticker residue off, I'm going to try to use a little bit of lighter fluid. see how this works. Yeah, that's nice. Let's soak in a little bit. Just let it soak in a couple seconds and it really comes off. Gross. Alright, so let's get our decal on. Nice. Alright, so this is pretty much all ready to go. Oh, also the seat back. Where'd my seat back go? Alright, so the seat back I painted too. That was white. I did the same method I did there. Nice. Bring the body in. This goes like this, I believe. Yes, and then it clips in the back here. Keep it apart. There we go. You gotta make sure your cockpit is squeezed. You know what I'm saying. So that's in. Our glass, I'll give a clean up to that with some glass cleaner, why not? Cockpit's situated. Put in my windscreen. There's a little notch here that lines up with the notch at the top. Right there. Now our wing clips. Wing clips. We're going to put our spring in. We're going to set that in there. And we're going to put our button in. We have to do all this at one piece like this. Yeah, like that. So it's spring, round part, clip facing down like a foot. And that's my original one. I can't use that. New one. Alright, and there's two little tabs that fit in there. And this body is what keeps the spring from coming out. So I just got to repeat that on the other side. My spring, and you clip. In there. Now, a matter of just getting these wires into the right spot so that the body closes. Yeah, just like that. I just gotta screw it back together. Before I do screw it back together, let's double check our electronics, make sure nothing came loose. Nice. You can see this guy's been waiting patiently. There you go. complete. I want to move on to the AT-AT now. I had mentioned that I have, a complete AT-AT, and this is one of the legs off of it. I have him packaged up now because I really don't have any place to display him. So, but I have this for reference. This is the legs that I have here. As you can see, I'm missing screw here, and up here. And I think I have all those. But I just want to double check the length of these screws on my working AT-AT, which I'm thinking might be the same size. Well, they're longer than the ones that came out of the TIE Fighter. That one is anyway. Check this one too. That's a longer one as well. Let's leave that out, see if I can find a couple of those. See, so it's that length of screw right there. Put mine back together here so it doesn't get confused. Alright, so the AT-AT is going to need some pieces out of this bag. Four of those, and I'm going to need these leg mounts. Is that it? Let's take this apart, see what else is in here. This one here has a larger black screw with almost like a washer in the head. Let's see if there's anything else that goes in here. No, it's just that round part with your clip. Foot. Doesn't matter which way it goes. That to this nub to the outside. I don't know if that's how that is actually supposed to go, but Alright, there's the four legs done. Clears up some stuff. So the first thing I need to do on this AT-AT is put the head together. And that took some doing. Thanks to Toy Polloi. He's got a great site. He had some great instructions on how to put this head together. But I'm going to show you how to do it. Quite a bit of parts, but it goes together pretty easy. Providing you don't have it broken down further than this. I'd also done some testing here on my electronics to make sure they worked, and I did have some issues with those. It's mostly up here in the switch. I'll get to that next, but we'll put this together first. So I got it all apart. Starting with my shell. Just bring it in here. Alright, we're going to start with this small gear. And that goes... sits right in here. There's a nice little pocket and a hole for it. We have our motor wired up. We can put that aside for now. We're gonna take. We have two of these. These are the side gun. They hold the chin guns, and so they're gonna face down. And the ones with the two prongs, right here, those face to the inside. So if you're holding them like that, with the two prongs, they're gonna go in just like this. And they actually fit down. You gotta kind of squeeze them through so that they actually ride down underneath it. Just like that. Alright. Next thing we got is this gear here. It's the larger gear is going to go on the left to hit the motor, and the other side takes the other side of the gun. So you can put it together this way. I think I put it. Let's get the motor out of the way. Yeah. So this is going to slot right down in there, and one of these tabs picks up one chin gun, and one picks up the other chin gun. Assuming we want to have them rotated 180 from each other too. So that peg's at the bottom, that peg's at the top. And just slip those little tabs into these pegs. And there you can see. They roll back and forth just like they should. Next we'll mount the motor. It's going to come up and sit in here. It slots in on the back. Tuck that in. Now, this is my battery tray. I have the gray wire gets plugged into the hole towards the front. The red wire goes to the far one. So that's in. This should, in theory, work. There we go. And it's under tension in there. See that? It wants to just keep spinning because there's nothing to hold it down. But that's how the head goes together. Make sure I'm putting those blue wires in the right spot. I just wonder if I want to wire them underneath it. Come up. That's probably a better option, huh? Even kind of a hole down here for that, so that's probably what we're supposed to do. There we go, that's nice. See that? Alright, so I feel confident I can button this up. They look like they're going to be just short screws, which I'm in good supply of short screws. One thing I didn't test was the bulb. So I'm hoping that the bulb is going to work. You know, while I'm here, I have a bulb in my good one, so let's test it. Now here's the bulb. Let's see how this works. Right in there like that. So there we go. I am missing the chin gun, so that kind of stinks, but these batteries are also going low. But good, that's all working. Let's take that out of there. And that is a GEPR2. All right, working. Let's see if this button will work right. Goes there. We're getting closer to putting the head together. There's one thing I'm missing from this whole piece. There would have been a piece of metal that went from here. It would have stretched from here through here into this head, and it would have kept the head from flopping down. It's a relatively thin piece of metal. I don't have any. I do have this small sheet of copper, which I think should do the trick. I just got to kind of measure it. Alright, so I got my line drawn out here. I'll stay on the right side of my line. Yeah, like that. Let's go with it. Alright, so we're going to start like this with the right hand cheek of the cockpit and the hand part. You got your metal. These little white things are important. These hold your side guns. And here's going to probably be the tough part where we're going to want to put our cockpit cover on. Which I believe goes like this. And we need to get this to slide in. Just like that. Actually, not just like that, because we want to get this handle in here too. But that was close. There we go. We want this tab to be under here. And you want this front tab to be under there. Alright. We want to feed our cables down through this hole here. This little notch. And then we can put, I believe we can put our second side on, right? I've pulled a couple random screws out of the head on my intact walker. They all seem to be this length here. And let's see if I can get a measurement on that. It's about a 1/2 inch long. So with that all together, we can put our second side for cockpit on, our canopy on here. Oh, you know what else? We want to make sure that we have our side gun things. So this might be a little tricky, keeping that in place. There we go. All in all, that was kind of a little easier than the TIE Fighter. Knock on wood. Battery cover goes here. And that is the head complete, minus the guns and the canopy. So let's move on to the body, which I think can go from, we can start with this. And I somehow want to route these through here. Gray wire is going to go here. Nice little wiring spot for you here. And the red one's going to go around to the far side. Put it way back here. Give you a nice little channel for that too. Alright, so put that on there. Go together just like that. And we can take our top, bring that in. Make sure we're getting into that peg. I don't have the door either, so I can't put that on. But if I did have the door, I would. This is about where I would put it in. Once again, I'm going to check the screws here on my complete Imperial Walker. Again, those are the 1/2 inch, so looks like I got plenty of those. Alright, so that's the main body put back together. We can put the legs on. Put it backwards. Alright. Oh, that sound freaks me out. Star Wars don't go brittle though. Typically. We're going to have to back up for this one. The only thing left to do now is put on the chin guns. They go on kind of like this, with the shields going up. There you go. I am missing the canopy cover, the front guns, and the side door, which by the way are the 3 most expensive parts to buy for this part piece. Alright, the AT-ST is kind of a difficult one. Let's see, where should we start? Could start with the bottom half, I guess. You know, this might be easier actually. Like this. Let me go through the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is the selector switch. That's going to go first. The button's going to go here. Sit to the right. And this is where we set it to walk or to stand still. Second thing I need to do, leave that there for now, is this kind of weird T-bracket with the arm coming off of it. The arm fits into the slot on the button, and the center part rides there, like that. Alright, now there's these two shafts with these pieces that go here. They lock together like that, right? And do that on both sides. And they're going to sit right in here. Like this, backwards, so that the short shaft goes in. And the other one goes like that. Then you want to take your other one, you take your spring, you're going to put it between the two. And this is where it gets a little bit weird because it gets very tight and everything wants to spring out at you. So, it's locked in there like that. And now the legs. Legs are kind of important. If you can see, it's like a shield shape. You want the wide part at the top, short part, skinnier part facing down. Spring's all loaded. I'm going to put this big spring in there, and we need to put the whole thing back together without it popping apart. Just waiting for that center part to pop apart. Hold it. Should be just like that. There's your legs working. How does that go? Move it over and they just lock. Like that. This one, I'm going to try the long screws. I don't have anything else to put together and I got a whole bunch of screws here, so let's start with the long ones. Alright, that's the basic shell of the bottom. Now the legs are going to want to go together like this. These, and that's the one other thing, I only have one of these, so this is going to be tough. Is it that one? Okay, so yeah. So you're going to have this, one of these pieces goes on here and holds the whole thing together for you. You can see here, I have a broken foot. And I'm missing that second bar. I'm missing the top canopy. Missing a lot of parts on this one. I'm going to see if this will hold with some super glue. Fortunately, whoever glued it used some like rubber cement or something that's peeling right off of there. So I'm going to get the X-Acto knife out and just kind of chisel that off and see if I can, same thing here, see if I can glue that back together.
Gotta break it down now to take it down. You gotta make it better, baby. Get on the scene when you drop it on the stage. Take it down low and you take it on the body and take it on you go insane. Say, you gotta say, Luna.
It stinks as this side wants to drop down because I don't have that other leg stanchion, the leg strut on this side. Yeah, he needs the tension of this other leg strut to hold him down. So yeah, on him I'm missing the left strut. He's not going to stand too well without that. Missing the canopy and the gun. I was able to fix this. I used a little super glue and some baking soda. Kind of makes a plastic. And that's really strong now. I don't know how far I want to go with this one. It would be nice to have him standing. I mean, he's not worth much if he's falling over, right? So that is my estate sale Star Wars toy lot put back together. Kind of stinks I'm missing some parts, especially the most expensive parts here on the AT-AT and the Millennium Falcon. The AT-ST, I wasn't really into Jedi, but that would make a good display piece if I could get at least the other leg strut so that it can stand up under its own weight. And maybe think about just keep an eye on eBay for the canopy cover and the shields for the bottom. The shields for the bottom are less important, but it would still, I'd still like to have it complete. As for the AT-AT, the canopy's pretty expensive. It's like 50 or 60 bucks, as well as the side door. Yeah, that's, I mean, if I would do it if I didn't have an AT-AT, but I have an AT-AT complete, so I don't want to pour money into this one. But I'll keep an eye on eBay, see if I get a lot with multiple pieces in it. That always helps. Same thing with the Falcon. The Falcon I actually might try to complete. I think I'd have a better chance of completing this. I might have to pay up for some parts like the cockpit, but I might find a lot with a lot of the interior parts. I have the gun mount, but I don't have the seat for it. You know, I'm missing the radar dish. Would really like to have that top cover there, and you know, decals, I can print those up if I have to. The Tie Interceptor came out awesome. Love that. That's going to be awesome on display. The big X-Wing, not really sure what I'm going to do with that. I might go to the flea market with me. And the R2, I haven't decided what to do with him yet, but I want to test. I have yet to test him out, so I got to get some bubbles or something that fits in there, because it's a screw-in thing at the top. So let me know if you want to see any of these three be more restored. If you would want to see the Falcon or the AT-AT, let me know in the comments. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun, and I want to thank you for joining me. Thumbs up so I know you like my content. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.